Welcome back to the As the World Burns podcast. My name is Minty Burns, and today the world is burning around Toronto Crypto King as he's just been arrested among other potential suspects in a massive crypto fraud ring. Toronto is my hometown, so this is going to be an interesting story to look at. I'm going to pull up the clip. It's on Global News, and before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop your opinion in the comments, as always, and like this video. Let's get into it. And shout out to everybody that's into crypto, you know what I'm saying? We're about to approach, hopefully, a hyperbolic bull run. It's already kind of started, but I think things are going to get crazy in this next month or so. So I'm excited for that. Anyways, let's check out this video. Crypto King arrest. Ontario police fear more victims in massive fraud case.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sergeant Joanne Warlis of our Corporate Communications Unit. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Chief Marrero will be providing an overview of Project Swan shortly. Following his remarks, Stephen Henkel from the Ontario Securities Commission will be providing a statement. After their statements, members of our Financial Crimes Unit will be able to answer a few questions. As some of you are aware, there's currently a publication ban in relation to Mr. Pleterski. Therefore, any responses to your questions will have to adhere to rules set out by that ban. I will now call up Chief Marrero.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank members of the media for helping us get the word out about this investigation. And I want to provide information about Project Swan, an ongoing fraud investigation that
Project Swan, they're calling it. Crazy.
has spanned nearly 2 years. It is believed to be the largest fraud investigation in this region. In July of 2022, the Durham Regional Police Service began receiving complaints about investment fraud involving a gentleman by the name of Adrian Pleterski and AP Private Equity. Mr. Pleterski claimed to be an extremely profitable investor in cryptocurrency and actually referred to himself as the Crypto King. It's alleged that Pleterski solicited funds from investors, promising massive profits and also guaranteeing no loss of the original money put out by investors. These investors
Sounds like a typical Ponzi pyramid scheme to me.
became concerned when they were unable to access money held by Pleterski and came forward to police. During that time, Pleterski also used other people to act on his behalf. A joint investigation launched by the Durham Regional Police Service Financial Crimes Unit and the Ontario Securities Commission, the regulator for capital markets in this province, resulted in a project we dubbed Project Swan. This investigation was extremely thorough, with countless interviews conducted and over 40 court orders being sought to gather evidence. This case involved a large number of victims and required meticulous analysis of thousands of financial documents, which took over 18 months before resulting in the arrest of 2 parties. Through this
Honestly, you got to be an idiot to give your money to some guy called the Crypto King that's going to invest your money in the most volatile market in the world probably and think that your money's guaranteed and that you're like nothing, you can't lose your money. Like, you literally got to be an idiot. So I don't really feel too bad for the people that invested in this crypto Ponzi scheme.
investigation, police also became aware of another individual, Colin Murphy, who also claimed to be generating large profits through savvy investments. The victims provided money to Murphy with the expectation that he was investing it on their behalf and would return to them with large profits. It is alleged that these victims were ultimately defrauded and unable to recover their funds. On May 10th of this year, Colin Murphy, age 27 of Oshawa, was arrested and charged with fraud over $5,000. On May 14th, Adrian Pleterski, 25, of Whitby, was arrested and charged with fraud over $5,000 and laundering proceeds of crime. Investigators have spoken to many people who have been impacted by this fraud and encourage anyone who may be a victim or thinks that they may be a victim to come forward, particularly anybody who has dealt with Mr. Pleterski, Mr. Murphy, or AP Private Equity. We need your information, and this investigation remains active. We have information that Mr. Pleterski may have been attempting to solicit investors as recently as February of this year. And so our concern goes out in our appeal.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that DJ Envy Ponzi scheme with real estate, where they were going around New Jersey convincing people to give them money for real estate, and it turned out to be a massive Ponzi scheme, but for crypto, which is even more risky, you'd think, for the investor. It sounds more sketchy than real estate, even though both of them are probably scams.
Goes out to those who may have been contacted by him. The successful outcome of this investigation underscores the effectiveness of collaboration between law enforcement agencies and regulatory bodies. We extend our appreciation to all partners involved in this joint effort to combat serious financial fraud, and more importantly, preventing others from becoming victims. Fraud has advanced alongside current technology.
Okay, can we get some details on how these guys did the scam, though?
Has been increasingly more sophisticated over time. It is more important than ever to ensure members of our community take precautions when dealing with financial investments. For more information on crime prevention and fraud prevention specifically, please visit our website. I would now like to invite Mr. Stephen Henkel of the Ontario Securities Commission to speak. Detective Jasiak and Detective Constable Zano will also be here available to answer some questions. Steve?
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. These charges are a prime example of effective collaboration between a securities regulator and a law enforcement agency. In addition to our partners at the Durham Regional Police Service, I want to acknowledge the assistance of the Toronto Police Service, York Regional Police.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit because these police reports are not giving us any details.
In any capacity. This means they are not permitted to engage in the business of trading securities or providing investment advice. It is critical that all those considering whether to purchase digital assets or any investment product first check whether the person or the business they are dealing with is registered with Canadian securities regulators. You can do this at www.aretheyregistered.ca. If you have not already done so, we encourage any investors who have been approached by Mr. Platursky or Mr. Murphy or who have invested with AP Private Equity Incorporated to contact the OSC's contact center at 1-877-785-1555, which is a toll-free number.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward a little more.
And we encourage any of the investors who invested with Aidan Platursky, Colin Murphy, or AP Private Equity to please come forward, and we'd love to speak with you and interview you.
Is it fair to say that dozens of people came forward?
I can say multiple people came forward. I can't quantify that number, sorry.
You did mention multiple jurisdictions as well. You say global. Are you able to state or provide any examples of where some of these individuals are from?
Well, I don't want to really identify any of these individuals. It's not fair. They're victims. I don't want to give any information that could potentially identify them. But this does start in the region of Durham, and it expands throughout the multiple jurisdictions.
There was a mention that U.S. Homeland Security was involved. Can you talk about what their involvement was?
Again, can't get into specifics in regards to that, but their help was greatly appreciated in this investigation.
I wonder how much money these guys had solicited from their victims or whatever. Like, is it in the millions, or are we talking tens of thousands?
Can you talk to me about how the arrest went down and what Aidan Platursky's demeanor was?
So again, can't really get into about Aidan Platursky's arrest specifically.
Can't say anything,
I can tell you that he was arrested on Tuesday, the 12th of May. Mr. Murphy was arrested on the 10th. He surrendered. I can talk to you about him. He surrendered himself, and he was charged with the count of fraud over $5,000 and eventually released on an undertaking.
Are we able to talk about whether or not they were targeting any?
These charges sound light, like fraud over $5,000, especially in Canada. I could tell you from firsthand, I'm from Canada. The legal system in Canada is super soft. Like, shit like this is a slap on the wrist. So, like, this isn't like a Sam Bankman-Fried situation where they're going to end up in jail for 20 years. No chance. These guys are probably going to get off maybe with just house arrest, to be honest with you. It's not sounding super crazy.
Specific demographic. We know there's a lot of people who target the elderly, unfortunately. In this particular case, was there a particular demographic?
Again, I don't really want to get into demographics of individuals, because I'm very cognizant and aware. I don't want anything to get out that could potentially identify witnesses or investors. You have to appreciate, and I'm sure you do, that a lot of lives have been devastated by this. It's very emotional for individuals, and we're not going to be in a position to release anything that could potentially identify.
Of the arrest?
So, in relation to Mr. Murphy, the arrest was here in Whitby. I can't get into the details about Mr. Pleterski's arrest. Again, covered by a publication ban. But Mr. Murphy did surrender himself, and he was charged here in Whitby and released here at Whitby.
Okay, and just to follow, I understand bail was put up for his release. Can you comment on how that was presented and by whom and what amount that was?
Unfortunately, I can't.
These guys can't give out any information, but if you're running a big crypto Ponzi scheme like this and you're scamming people for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, what are you doing in Whitby, Ontario? Whitby, Ontario is like Niagara Falls, like Buffalo. It's like the armpit of Canada. It's like a garbage little town to be in. Like, you'd think these motherfuckers would be in Las Vegas, living it up. It's strange. Maybe they're just trying to run the bag up and then go live their life. But Whitby, Ontario, come on.
Given the size of this fraud, what is your message to the public, others who might, be approached by people who are promising to return money in market?
Don't be an
That's
idiot.
an
How
excellent
about
question.
that?
And again, I'll use the old, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And I know everyone's heard that, but in cases of this, it's too good to be true, it probably is. Anybody who's thinking of investing, again, as Senior Investigator Henkel had mentioned, contact the Ontario Securities Commission, see if they're registered, see if they're properly licensed.
There's no such thing as a guaranteed investment, especially in cryptocurrency. Like, you literally gotta be stupid or not understand the climate of the market if you think there's a such thing as a guaranteed investment in crypto. Of all things, crypto.
Multiple financial agencies that are out there that'll require individuals to be registered. Do some homework, go look into it, and protect yourself, protect your loved ones and your family.
There's a lot of stigma and shame attached to this for a lot of people who have been bilked by fraudsters. What do you say to people who are considering coming forward but perhaps are feeling too overwhelmed with shame?
Again, excellent question, because having worked in the financial crimes, we experience that a lot. Our service has some excellent witness victim assistance programs, and we would definitely help the individuals who are suffering or going through any of these emotions to not do it alone. We do have resources available, and we will make those resources available to them.
What's your message to investors who got ripped off and are wondering, am I ever going to get my money back?
So we have to follow a court process, and again, I can't make any assurances in regards to restitution, but I do know that if there is a conviction registered, that there are courts will issue a restitution order, and at the end of the day, that's what we'd like to make sure that people are hopefully get something back.
My other question is for the chief in regards.
Okay. I think we have enough information on what's happening here, but then again, the chief of police didn't really say much. That being said, I highly doubt anybody's going to get their investment back. Unfortunately, it is a bit of a sad story, but at the same time, you got to be smart, and you got to realize that there's no such thing as a guaranteed investment. You're giving your money to some guy who calls himself the crypto king to invest your money. Just do it yourself. Do your own research on crypto online and invest the money yourself, because that way, if something goes wrong, you have nobody to blame but yourself, and if something goes right, then you can be proud of yourself for making smart moves. That being said, if you're into crypto, we do have an upcoming bull run well, we're in a bull run, but like I said, it's about to go parabolic and crazy. So what coins are you guys looking at right now? Me personally, I'm looking at some different AI coins, some gaming coins, and of course, like the top 10, trying to spread out some investments into the safer cryptos. I'm not trying to do what I did last bull run, because last bull run I made a shit ton of money, held it, thought I was going to be rich, thought it was going to go up to infinity, and then it crashed like the Titanic, and I lost a shit ton of money. So I'm trying to learn from my mistakes in the past bull run and make some smart moves this bull run, but it's so much easier said than done. That being said, my name is Minty Burns. This is the As the World Burns podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this crypto Ponzi scheme and the quote-unquote crypto king. Let me know what your guys, if you want to reveal that information, let me know what your personal plans are for this bull run, how you're going to come out on top. And I'd love to know, because I'm trying to make some smart moves myself. Hope everybody has a blessed week. Stay safe. I'm out of here. Peace.